to Expats Wtf, your spiritual guide through Expatia. Disclaimer: in traces it may contain serious conversation. Hi guys, this is another episode of Two Expats Wtf. Hi Bogdan.
Hi Zoli, how's it going?
It's interesting, a bit weird being again in front of the microphone and trying to do a podcast. The first was just came natural, but with the second one, I think we overthought it a bit.
What do you mean? I didn't think about anything. I let you do the overthinking so I can balance it out, okay?
Yeah, great. Yeah, by overthinking, I meant that we thought about a topic, about what we will be talking today, and
yeah, but I actually think the topic you thought about is quite interesting. So yeah, bring it on.
We should tell the listeners about the topic as well. What do you think?
Yeah, I was expecting you to do that.
Okay.
As I said, I'm doing nothing. I'm just here for the fun, man.
Yeah, as you can see, we are experts in this. Okay, and the topic is, what preconceptions did you have about the country you live in right now, and how that changed with time?
Yeah, can I start a bit? Because
yeah,
sure. I touched on it just a bit last time. As I said, I had when I started forming my image of Sweden when I was young, it was around when I was in puberty probably. Started hanging out with friends, maybe even in pubs, and lots of different people had lots of different opinions about everything. Of course, we were young, we didn't know, we just said stuff as it came out. But some friends of mine I noticed that they were really interested in the Nordic countries, you know, among them Sweden, right? And what I had as an image from them was like really rock music, Viking vibe, hardcore shit, like, I don't know. And then I always imagined, like, you know, the techno Viking. Yeah, I always had like that kind of a image, fast with like a rock and roll or hardcore metal thing as a background instead. So I didn't know anything about Sweden. I didn't document myself about it. I just heard stories about gods and rock music and techno Vikings. So it's quite interesting.
And you were preparing for a wild ride.
Most definitely. I was like, yeah, this is gonna be hardcore, man. Now
I need some tattoos before moving.
Yeah, some Odin tattoos and Thor's hammer and shit, right? Yeah, but in contrast to that, I don't want to say that these elements don't exist here. They actually do exist. There's like quite a big culture in music and rock music, in special here in the Nordics. If you think about it, like Finland, I think has the most rock bands or
per capita,
whatever.
Yeah.
Per capita, right? And Sweden is not really so far behind, for example, or Norway. But yeah, they do have that element. But then again, like the society and actually living here is totally different. You have like a very quiet, peaceful place, like where nobody wants to disturb and nobody. You can be yourself, you can express yourself. Nobody's gonna judge you that much about who you are, what you are. But yeah, that was quite a big contrast. I don't know, there's a lot to it, but there was like the first impression I had when after a few years was this is a good country, especially for families, I think, where people trying to build families, or even I think old people would love it. What did you have like in mind about Germany, for example? You live in Germany right now, right?
Well, I visited Germany when I was about 12, I think. I visited some family friends with my parents, and I can't really remember anything. We were in Köln, which is a big-ish city in Germany. But what stuck with me was the Autobahn, the huge highways where there are no speed limits. I like that. And the beer culture was a huge shock for me. The man we were living with, the family friend, at his balcony, he had 3 cases of beer, and when we drank a bit and we got to the second case, he began panicking, and whatever it was, night or day, or it didn't matter, he had to run for more beer because he said that we were running out. So in 2 weeks while we were there, we never got to the last case of beer. That is 24 beers, you know. And I was like, whoa, man, he's rich. That was the image in my head. Wow, Germans are rich. They can afford to buy a case of beer, not only one, or these plastic bottles of beer, but what we had at home.
Yeah, that's cool. I know. Like, I actually remember I sent you like what was it, a picture? Beer may not solve your problems, but neither will water or milk. So it quite makes sense. And you're kind of a beer guy. You love beer, right?
Yeah, I love beer. But the other preconception I had about Germany was through my teachers, I believe, because I studied German in school, and the weird thing was that all or most my German teachers were old women, pensioners, who needed a bit of extra cash, so they taught German in the university as well. And the way they portrayed it was totally different. It felt like a bland, boring place that was built on rules and regulations, and nothing ever happens there. And I had this image in my head when we first moved to Sweden, or before. I said I would never move to Germany. That was the last thing I would do, is move to Germany. I'd rather move to England than to move to Germany. But hey, yeah. Life, man.
Yeah, no, that's interesting point of view, because when I think about it, I didn't really have like for me when I didn't have any kind of an image about how people are in that regard. Are they strict? Are they, do they like order? Or I don't know, are they just like crazy people not giving a shit? I don't know. So I didn't have anything, any kind of a image about that. But once I got to know Swedish society and Swedish people and got to have Swedish friends, I noticed this really, really relaxed approach to life, where they have a saying. Can I say it in Swedish?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
You'll translate it afterwards.
Yeah. Det löser sig. It's gonna. Det löser sig means it's going to solve itself. Like every problem, it's gonna be okay. In the end, yes. you'll come to a solution. It's just gonna take time, and you just have to have patience. And I noticed that, and it was quite a big change for me, because the pace in Romania, for example, was quite high, and the expectations in Romania are like that kind of an instant gratification thing. Like, if you need something, okay, you know where to go to get it, or to do it, or to, make it happen. And usually things have to go fast. If I want to go, I don't know, pay my taxes, I'm just gonna go there, go to the cashier and pay the thing and buy whatever. But here it's like you have to wait for it. And then when you wait for it, you get it home, and then you have to go through it, check it out. Is it okay? It's not okay, and then send it back, and then they will say, okay, now that you have gone through it and you think it's okay, we think it's okay, and then it's gonna take some while, and then they take the decision, and then it's quite everything is kind of a process.
Whole process, yeah. That was a huge culture shock for me as well. In Germany, you would never believe that Germans are the same. Just extremely laid back. If there was a problem at my last company I worked with, if something went wrong or some shit happened, all my German bosses were extremely laid back, and I was stressing the hell out, and what the fuck do I do now? And I was panicking, and I was almost shouting with them, why aren't you worried? What the fuck is going on? Don't you see there's a problem here? And they were like, yeah, it's okay. It will solve itself. What the hell are you talking about, man?
Just give it time and patience, man.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like going 100 miles an hour, but it's my mistake. I have to solve it. And they were like, that's okay, relax. And I was like, what the fuck
gonna solve itself,
what do you guys smoke? I want some,
Well, yeah. And that was one big thing, actually, the slow-paced, everything is gonna be all right kind of mentality. Although some things, as I perceive them to be urgent, or I perceive them to have, like, I had a need to solve it now. Like I wanted the problem to be solved yesterday if possible, you know. Although most problems don't. It's not only you that's like the solution or the source of the problem. There's always different factors. You always they always understand, like, okay, it doesn't always mean that I have to do something about a problem. Sometimes the only thing I have to do is just wait for the others to do their job. It can take a while. Some people might do their job faster, some people might do their job slower, or some people just have a lot to do and it's going to take a lot of time, or some people just don't have much to do and it's going to go like this, fast.
And you know why is that? Because we at home in our bureaucratic countries, we were used to the fact that it might not happen. You know, if you go to the state to resolve anything, that wasn't a guarantee that it would happen and that you would achieve your goal. So it was this sense of urgency to make it right, do it fast, so that we could get it over with, because it was each and every time it was a hugely unpleasant experience.
Yeah, and you had to make sure that it was being done. You had to make sure that everything is going according to plan, and it felt like a burden that you had.
They were not interested in the fact that, I don't know, for instance, the cashier fucked something up. That's why you don't have that piece of paper. You were fined for that. You know, that's the mentality we came with. And that's why it is so strange for us here in Germany and in Sweden that they are so laid back, because they are used to the fact that, hey, it will work itself out, you know. But that's not our experience.
Yeah, well, I know, but you know what's interesting? I was just thinking about this right now. I don't really have like a specific example of anything where I can have like you know, specific threads in time that I can show you. I can like explain it to you how it goes down. What
I do
happens.
have one, and one of yours.
One of mine. Okay, that's interesting. Please.
Remember, we were visiting. I think we were in holiday, and you said that you have to change your driver's license.
Yeah.
And I was coming with you. We were taking the dog as well, and I said, okay, I'll smoke a cigarette, I'll walk the dog while you arrange the whole shenanigans. And I got out of the car, got the dog, lighted my cigarette. It wasn't 5 or 10 minutes later, you came back, and my first reaction was, what did you forget? And you were like, hey, I'm done.
Yeah.
And I couldn't comprehend that in 5 to 10 minutes it's done.
Yeah, well, the thing is, like, the whole process wasn't exactly only that thing. Like, the first thing, when you, for example, this is a good maybe tip for someone that lives in Sweden or is new to Sweden, right? Well, if you are from the EU, right, European Union, you can change your driver's license quite easy. The only thing you have to do is you have to go on the website, on the what's it called, the appropriate government website. I don't have it right now in my head, but you just have to go on that website and say, okay, my name is, this is my personnummer, I want to change my driver's license. My driver's license is from Romania, it's an EU country. Okay. And what happens then? You just like wait for a letter home, and when the letter comes, you have to put your old driver's license in a. You get in the letter. You get also an envelope, right? Yeah, you get an envelope to be able to send back your original, like in my case, Romanian driver's license, and you put your Romanian driver's license in there, and then you send it and you send it back. Meanwhile, you have to pay a fee, right? You pay like maybe 40 euros or something in the equivalent of euros, right? And then you pay that. You send your driver's license, and you wait a couple of weeks until you get it back. And they also recommend that you take like a copy of you make a copy of your original driver's license to have it with you meanwhile. But they also, the police, if the police stops you until you get it back, until you get the new one, the Swedish one, right? Yep. They already know that your driver's license is on the way, or it's there and you don't have it at hand. They can see all these things. It's quite nice, and really like it calms you down. Doesn't give you so much stress. What happens if the police stops me and I don't have my driver's license? Can I drive? Or whatever. And it's quite a smooth process. And then in the meanwhile, you have to also go take a new picture, like right then. That was the thing that we did together, right? We went to a police station, or what was it? I can't remember exactly.
Yeah, I don't know.
We have to go. We had to go somewhere to make a picture for the new driver's license, and then in a few weeks you get your Swedish driver's license. Quite easy.
And another huge thing that surprised me, for us who are from Eastern Europa. For us who are from Eastern Europe, okay, yeah. we'll just cut that out, or no, we'll leave it in.
No,
I don't know.
Leave it in.
Anyway, for us who are from Eastern Europe, we have a fear from police, and here they are looked at as friends or as helpers or I don't know. I know that for us, police is something negative. If you see a police officer, you get scared, and that's what happened to me in Germany and the Autobahn, where I could go 300 kilometers per hour. For you heathens who don't use the metric system, I don't know what that is and what you use.
Quite a lot.
Yeah, quite a lot. And I was going with about 150 kilometers an hour, and the police car in front of me was going with 130 on a limitless portion of the road. And when I saw them, I got scared. I pushed the brakes and I got behind the police car. How could I overtake a police car with 150? That's insane, man. That's suicide.
As Eastern Europeans do,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
They stop, shit, police, okay.
Fuck me. And that was so suspicious for the police officer that he started
the
sirens.
You, right?
Yeah, they stopped me.
Oh yeah.
And I had a huge stick up my ass. I was like, yes, officer, what did I do wrong? Please don't kill me. Please don't shoot me.
Why did you stop?
And he was like, okay, registration and driver's license and everything. And he was like, where are you going? I said, on holiday. Okay, go on. And I said, why did you stop me? And he said, well, you were suspicious. What do you mean suspicious? Well, you came with a constant speed and suddenly you just braked and got it behind me. So you had something to hide. I said, no, I'm just Eastern European. I had nothing to hide.
Yeah. Now about this topic about police, I would say like this. I right now my views has changed a bit, and like if we can talk a bit about change in this case, right? Right now I see more clearly, like in Romania, I actually see the police as a as they say in America, right, law enforcement agency, right, or law enforcement part of the government. And you see that you see that it's some kind of a hostility between police and the general population, right? But then again, here in Sweden, as you said, they are friendly. They're seen as your helpers, right? Your dirty little helpers, whatever. But the thing is, like, I actually see that. I think here you could definitely feel that the police is serving the citizen, is serving you. They are protecting you. They are making sure that you feel okay, you feel alright, you don't have any problems. And if you do have problems, or let's say you're a criminal, it doesn't matter. They don't treat you with aggression. They don't treat you with this is what you deserve. No, they actually try to relate to you, and it makes you feel safe in talking to them. You never have a second thought about what's gonna happen. Is he gonna fucking put a gun on me? Is he gonna beat me with a baton?
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing. You're just yeah, hi man, what's up?
I think that's because the police back home in Eastern Europe, they have an inferiority complex with their shitty cars, their guns that are a joke. I shot once this Karpat's gun. The bullet goes wherever you're not pointing. So whatever you try to shoot, it won't hit it. I guarantee you. And the huge beer belly, the huge beer gut, those are the typical Romanian police officers. Here in Germany, they are with BMWs, Mercedes, fast cars, huge 2-meter tall police officers. The women as well, they're huge. I wouldn't want to get a slap from one of them, I'd die. And they're extremely efficient. You don't really see them. They're not everywhere. But once something happens, they're instantly there. I had one occasion, the office building we were working underneath, there was, I believe it was an insurance company or something, I don't know what it was, but there was some sort of problem there and someone went in with a knife and they tried to, I don't know what they tried to do. And as I heard that someone was shouting, I looked out the window and like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 police cars just pulled up next to our building. Instantly. And I'm not kidding you, it wasn't 3 minutes later, there was a helicopter as well. I was like, whoa, that's amazing.
Well, that's actually what you would call police enforcement, but at the same time, I think it's like the way they act, the way they handle the situations that doesn't make it feel as police enforcement. At the same time as the citizen that's like seeing what's happening in front of their eyes. In this case, you, right? You felt safe. You felt like the police knows what the fuck they're doing, right? Yeah. That's how it should be. This is how it should be. This is like safety. This is the police making sure you feel safe, and that's cool. That's how it should be.
I think they are doing a pretty good job with the image as well. You know, the police cars as they are painted and the way they look, and the police officers that they are all fit, not like at home. Yeah. You know, that they demand respect, but with their appearance, but they are extremely friendly and outgoing. And I think that's part of the sentiment that you feel safe and you feel that you can trust them.
I don't know if you remember, when we moved to Sweden, actually it was the first Christmas, I think, if I remember well. Fucking crazy. I felt like I almost had a panic attack when I heard about it like a couple of days ago. So what happened was, in the Christmas evening, was the first Christmas, everything was okay, and the night was just me and my wife. And then she went to sleep, and I was about that time I was still gaming, so I was like going to play some games online for a couple of hours, right? And at one point in the night, it was late in the night, I think it was 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning maybe, right? I just saw outside like the blue lights, right? The police lights. Mm-hmm. I didn't know what happened, I didn't hear them. I just saw the lights. It was quite incognito, you know. Felt like they were doing the job, but they didn't have to disturb me, you know. And me being the typical Romanian, I went outside. What's happening here? Is there something I can do? What happened here? Let's do.
With your flip-flops and boxer shorts.
Yeah, something like that. Something like that. And the police officer was, as you said, a quite big guy, a tall guy, well built. He was just like really calm, and he came up to me and said, "Everything is okay. You can go back house. It's fine. We're handling it. You're gonna be hearing from us maybe tomorrow if we need some information, okay?" And it was like, me being a Romanian guy, I couldn't fucking accept it, and I was like, "Yeah, but what's happening? What happened? What's happening? What did somebody get shot? What? Nothing." And they didn't. They tried to make me not panic, and they actually succeeded, because right after that, I did look in the window, like as any Romanian would do, right? Look out the window and say, "What's happening? Can I see something?" But no, I felt relaxed and safe, and I went back to sleep. And actually, the next day in the morning, of course, it was like fucking 8 in the morning. They came, an investigator came by to ask a few questions if I heard or saw anything and stuff like that. What happened was, in our building at the 3rd floor, there was a stabbing actually. There was this guy that stabbed another guy. And of course, not knowing so much, you hear rumors that maybe he was a drug dealer or stuff like that. You know, you hear this kind of rumors, mostly just because of the fact that in the building there was a lot of immigrants. So, you know, different cultures, different way of tackling issues.
Yeah, then your imagination goes rampant. You just fill in the dots and...
Yeah, because you don't know, and we kind of panic when we don't know. But at the same time, I felt quite safe. And the investigators started asking me, and in the end, a couple of days later, we found out what happened. It was like two guys. It was like some sort of a party, a Christmas party, and two guys got in an argument because the host slapped his dog, and one of his friends, he was like, "Oh man, what the fuck, you can't do that, you can't slap the dog, it's not okay to physically harm your dog." And they got in an argument, and somehow one of the guys got a knife and like just cut him a bit. It wasn't like stabbing, you know, but nobody got really actually hurt. But the thing is, what I want to say...
I agree with that. Don't slap another man's dog. That's not okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but and then what I got out of it, I was like, I never had a feeling that something was not right. I never had a feeling that I was not safe. And in my interactions with the police, I always felt like, this is good. He is my friend. He has my back, you know. And that felt totally different than any other experience I had before with police.
Yeah, that's exactly so. All my experiences back home were either extremely funny, and not funny in a haha way, but funny in a sad way, you know?
Yeah, funny in a fucked up way.
Yeah, funny in a fucked up... For instance, just two short stories. We had a huge party, the neighbors complained, police came out. I had a friend who was a heavier built fella, and he was put in the back of a police car to take a statement. But given the fact that the police had shitty cars, the door jammed and the guy couldn't get out. And the police said, "Hey, I just pulled the front seat a bit further and you can climb out." And the guy was, "No."
Poor guy.
"Did you arrest me?" And he was about 130 kilos. I don't know, he was a bigger fella. And he was like, "Do you want to arrest me?" No, you're free to go." "Then open the door." "I can't, it's blocked."
Fucked up, man.
Police, you know, it's...
Yeah, that's unfortunate, but that's one of the things that I love after moving here. And my wife has like almost, I don't know if weekly, maybe monthly contact with police, and because of her job. And she always says whenever she sees them, she always feels safe. Although the person that's with the police might be a dangerous person, she always has a safe feeling, just because of the fact that the police know how to handle both the general population, the civilians, and the guys that, or girls, or the perpetrators, if you would say so, criminals, right? They have a good way to...
Yeah, I believe they are trained professionals, not like
I do think they have really good education in that regard, right? And good bedside manner, right?
The weirdest thing was that after, I don't want to lie, I believe we moved to Germany in January, and the first time we went home was in March. That was... I'm shit at math. How many months is that?
Doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Does it?
a couple of months, okay? And when we came back, it was the weirdest thing, and I still think about it and sort of go into shock that after a couple of months, when we came back to Germany, we just relaxed after we crossed the border. It was like, whew, okay, we made it. You know, it was like you're still in a foreign country after 2 or 3 months living there. It's not your home, man. Whatever shit happened, it's not your home. But still, I just relaxed that, okay, we're home.
Felt safer and felt good. Yeah, I would say that's I had one of these so-called reverse culture shocks, right? What happened for me, I have a few examples that are quite interesting. One of the examples was the first time I went back to Romania after not being to Romania for a longer period, right? Like 6 months, 8 months, something like that. The first time I went back with the plane, when I got off the plane, I instantly felt the smells in Romania. Like, it was, you can feel the pollution in the air. Like you can actually smell it. I could feel that I was not breathing as easily as back home in Sweden, right?
Yeah,
and that was one of the things, because I always had a perception that Romania had a quite clean air, but looks like not in the cities though. In the countryside it might just be okay, you know, but I was shocked about that. That was one thing. And then again, the first time I went back with the car, I had a fucking shock, man.
Don't get me started on that. I think that will be a whole other episode.
But you know what's
going
weird?
home with a car, it's whoa.
No, you know what? But I just want to tell it really short. The first thing I started noticing on the way was, as I was getting closer and closer to Romania, there was more and more garbage on the road, right? Or on the sides of the road, or in the parking lots. And surprisingly enough, when you just cross the border to Romania, things just go crazy. Like, if you thought there was garbage in countries close to Romania, as you were closer and closer to Romania, in Romania you just feel like it fucking explodes. It's garbage everywhere on the side of the road. But it's not as bad as it used to be, probably, or possibly, but it's a still huge difference. And we talk about the differences between the East and the West, right? The East world and the West world, the East Europe and West Europe. And you can definitely see that in the cleanliness of countries.
And especially, I think it's in some sense that we change as well. You know, we have one mentality and one way of looking at things at home, and once we move, it sort of changes, and that's what I really want to talk about. But as it seems only in our next episode, we will talk about how the hell did we change and how much did it shock us. Because for me, at least, there were a few instances where I was, fuck, did I just do that? It's such a huge change.
Yeah, change in mentality, change in way of life and perception. I don't perceive things as I perceive things much different now. That's the only thing I can say. And I have a better approach, or more healthier approach to things and, I don't know, situations. I try to see things more positively, whereas back then, when I used to live in Romania, I used to react quite fast. I used to have like a quick response to everything. It did not matter if it was a good or bad. I always thought it was the good response either way. But now I kind of let myself take the time, give myself permission. Okay, you can now
digest stuff.
Digest. What happened here? Let's just take a second, analyze. What do you see? What do you feel? Is this okay? Is this not okay? How does this relate to different things? Okay, and then like take a decision or act in some way. Right now I feel like I've gotten really far on the way to being a better person.
A Zen master.
Zen fucker. Yeah, no.
So this is the theme of our next episode. How did Bogdan became a Zen master or fucker? What did you become?
Fucker, that sounds so bad, man. Oh, poor Zen monks.
Oh yeah, don't go down that route, man. Okay, so next time Bogdan becomes a Zen master.
Let's not. Yeah, we'll see. Bye.